Hey guys, it's Scott here with Sheep Guarding Llama for Wednesday, January 22nd, 2020. And, the story is getting old. I don't want to say I was busy. Got started this morning, slept in late because I worked until 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday. And so obviously slept in a little bit today. And I think I forgot to mention yesterday because it's tough to get all these things in. So Monday, Dominica had an EKG done, and then yesterday she had a nuclear stress test. Those so far have gone well. We don't have too much news yet. So I didn't get started until about 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. I feel very exhausted, and for a lot of the day I've had a headache, so I am feeling very run down. At this point, it is about 1 o'clock in the morning. I am literally doing this video and going to bed, so nothing too much beyond that. But more of craziness that's been going on since last Friday. We have this customer that I mentioned a bit yesterday who we actually think maybe having dementia or schizophrenic episode. We had to actually deal with some medical stuff today, some relatively heavy things there, and that's obviously very exhausting, and it's someone we like, and so we're really hoping that this, they're able to get them help, or they're able to find help or something, but it's a very rough situation, so it's been very draining, on top of everything else. Of course, loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of work going on. But it has been good. The staff is still sick like crazy, which continues to be really, really hard on everybody. We're on a couple months now of almost continuous sickness. Basically, since we were in Nicaragua, we've had at least one member and almost continuously two extremely sick all that time. And that is just wearing on everybody, as it's months of people trying to cover while everybody's sick. And we're all getting very tired. And of course, the people who are in the hospitals are not feeling great either, right? But it's been really something. But fortunately, everyone has recovered. But we've everything from car accidents to gallbladders to 8 weeks of fever to kids sick to just everything you could imagine has been going on over the last several months, and at work, and it's been running everybody down. Which of course, the exhaustion is then adding to other people getting sick. So it has a snowball effect. Beyond that today, lots of normal work. We got some really good news. So we did this pitch I mentioned yesterday that, we know we're not going to get it, but we did this really big pitch to an emergency hospital for our software. And, it was not exactly a Hail Mary, but it's a really long pass that we're making on our first time out. They said they were going to take it to their board. We were really excited about the steps they were going to take. And tonight we know that they reached out to an advisor to get their take on the solution, to see if they would really stand behind the solution, which means that they really went to another step, right? It was a huge step forward that they decided to reach out and talk to someone about it to see if they really would recommend going with it. So that's super exciting, because it means they were not just blowing us off. They were not just being polite. They're not just looking at it and moving on. It actually is up for consideration, which, of course, we still don't expect to get it, but we're so much more excited that they considered it so much, right? We made it farther in the process than we expected to make. And so that's really exciting. And we know that the advisor recommends the solution. The whole thing, top to bottom, completely agrees with our assessment. So what they're going to be getting in response is a positive. So whatever the next step is, it'll go on to there, we assume. So all really good stuff there. That's very exciting. I did work a full day, but about 8 o'clock tonight, I knocked off early, and Paul was playing Beat Saber, so I couldn't relax and watch TV. So Luciana said she wanted to play video games, so the girls and I watched I watched them play Demon Hunter 1, hidden object game, very casual, just chilled in their room. I made some Beyond sausage for dinner. That's what Liesl and I had. Luciana did her own thing and played that game, probably only for an hour. It was not real long. They kind of got distracted and said maybe we'll do that tomorrow. It's Wednesday, right? So I should mention this. We were supposed to have D&D night tonight. We were going to have it Monday normally, but Kat was starting her new job, or did start her new job, and was super busy on Monday, so they said let's do it on Wednesday. I kind of knew this was going to happen, and I really appreciate it because I'm worn down and don't feel great tonight. But they totally forgot and never said anything about it. So about 9 o'clock, I'm like, hey, they didn't say anything. I'm assuming they forgot. And Dominica's like, yeah. So that's why I had a little bit of free evening tonight, and I would have just worked through it all, but I'm not feeling great. So I had to step away. Mostly, I think it's a lot of eye strain, and that's just killing me. So spent some time just chilling with the girls in the dark while they played a video game. I didn't really have to look at the screen very much. I didn't even look at my phone because I couldn't handle it. It was headache enough that I was feeling nauseous. And then took a little bit of time to hang out with Dominica after we played the video games. And we watched Sick Note with Rupert Grint from the Harry Potter movies and with Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead, who is a great actor. I'm a huge Nick Frost fan. And so we watched that, and it's funny. It's a style, and like all the things are wrong in it, and it comes together to make I really like it. So it had a lot of potential to be really crappy, and so far looks like it's going to be a really good series. So it's a Netflix series from the UK. So checking that out, enjoying that, and then after that stayed up. That's why I'm up till 1. Had a little bit more work to do because I do have some things that can only be done at night. The really big one this evening is that I had to do, and this is actually incredibly exciting, an actual clinical deployment of Vettastic. We did that tonight. I've been working on it the last couple nights. It's a client who's trying to run this on Windows. So for a first deployment, it just adds so much complexity. Nothing actually works on Windows. When you go to do software on Windows, you run into levels of problems that you would never imagine that you would have. But like major products, you go to deploy it and find out there's nobody who's ever done these things, and there's no information, and none of the standard guides work, and you're considering how widely used Windows is supposedly in the real world, quite often you'll discover that no one's ever tried to use it for really standard deployments. And it's like, well, obviously, because why would you? It'd be crazy. Just put it on Linux, and there's so many benefits that it would be nuts to try to do it on Windows. But we're trying to do things for clients and simplify things, and lost like 2 days just trying to find a good way to do it. So I had to run VirtualBox to do it. But of course, not that many people actually run VirtualBox on Windows, right? Like, people just don't do this stuff. And so trying to do command line headless without a screen in the way, like without even a command prompt going on Windows, completely undocumented. Can't find information on it anywhere. Google it. There's nothing. You'll find tons of things for headless, but they're not actually headless. They're just not showing the console. They've all got a command window that can't go away. And they say, oh yeah, just it goes away when it's done. You don't want it to go away when it's done. You want it to go away once it's kicked it off. So the concept of like a no-hup and disconnecting from the console, apparently no one knows how to do, and just ignores it, and that they just minimize it and put up with it. It's really weird. Things that on Unix are everyday and really basic, no one knows how to do. It's just, and I'm sure there has to be a way. I'm not saying that Windows can't do it. I'm saying that it is so uncommon to use Windows as a server platform for anything, the most casual thing. Nobody does it, and there's just search and search and search. Nobody has any clue, and to the point where they just give up, right, and do something else. So that was frustrating, trying to do that for them. Finally did give up, went to VirtualBox doing Ubuntu 1910. Got it deployed last night, got through all the big barriers last night. Tonight had to do the actual deployment, got everything done, got it up and running, took screenshots, checked into the central console. Huge victory. So tonight, right about midnight, on the 22nd of January, 2020, Vettastic went live at its first clinic. It's not a paying clinic, but it's a clinical deployment, and that is a enormous victory for us, especially considering it's only between 90 and 100 days since we kicked off the project. So much like Waste Watcher in 2000, exactly 20 years ago, this month. In fact, we would be kicking off 1 week from today. 20 years ago is when Andy and I kicked off the Waste Watcher project. And so that's kind of an amazing milestone for us. So obviously we're finishing this one right as that one would have kicked off all those years ago. But it was a 90-day project for us. It went from January 20th is when we did the move to Ithaca to prepare for it, and then February 20th is when we did the move to Pittsburgh to really kick it off. So generally we consider February 20th the kickoff, and May 5th is when we went live. So this is a reminder that coming up, the Cinco de Mayo of this year, May 5th, 2020, is the 20th anniversary of Waste Watcher in production. Let me repeat that. It is the 20th anniversary of the production of a service. I don't know very many companies that have kept any software in production for 20 years. That is an epic milestone for us, for anybody, right? And so we're really, we're so busy with other things that it's hard to remember how big of a deal that is. And of course, coming up in about 10 days is going to be the 21st anniversary of the founding of NTG. So just crazy numbers out there right now. Of course, the founding, we were Renaissance West, we were an LLC in Rochester. We got, there's a million things that we've reformed the company at least 3 or 4 times, but it's been 21 years, right? And when we started the company, it was a small 2-person operation meant to do one thing, and by the time it was, now a lot has changed over the years. So it's been quite an adventure. But tonight is a landmark night for the company, for the business, for the product, and of course for Jeremy and I personally. So that's pretty exciting. I just sent the screenshots to Jeremy just before I started recording this. According to Telegram, he has seen them, but he didn't respond, so I'm not sure if he's actually awake. I did send them to my father as well, who did respond. I don't know why he's awake. It would be 2 o'clock in the morning where he is. I don't know if he went to bed really early and is up. I'm hoping I didn't wake him up by sending him that. Normally, Telegram doesn't wake him up. Pretty amazing day overall, but exhausting. So I'm wrapping up this video. I'm heading to bed now at about 10 after 1 in the morning. I am drinking the last of my half gallon of Kool-Aid. It's actually Weiler's Diet raspberry, not my favorite. The fruit punch is my favorite, and the grape, and then the cherry is tertiary, but I put up with the raspberry and a few of the others for variety. But I love having this half gallon. I've got a little, put the bottle cap on it, fill it up, shake it, and then I drink at least one of these every day, if not 2. It's a great way to make sure you're getting enough fluids, and this is, of course, on top of my coffee. I drink coffee all day long, so it's just continuous fluids. But this is to make sure that I don't get just fluids with caffeine, or that would be bad. Huge day for us. Tomorrow, I get not too much planned in the morning. It is Thursday. We do have we have a pending demo on the books for tomorrow, which could happen around lunch, and then Paul and I have to go down to South Dallas in the afternoon. We're meeting one of the owners of a company that we're working with, of a customer that we've had now for a few months, but a big one that's really important. And other than that, it's going to be Vetastic work, and we've got these new projects that are going on, so they may take some of my time as well. Hopefully I'll get at least caught up on something tomorrow, but things have been going well. So thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow.